eyes of both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves loincloths. And then later on, he explains how he was going to put enmity between him and the serpent, and he goes on and explains the whole curse I just talked about. But understand, from that moment on, everything changed. When God says, okay, you know what, our relationship is going to change. Your little life there on the earth is going to change. In fact, everything is going to be different now. And he says, you know what, and you're never going to get back to that garden. I'm going to keep you from that. You're not going to experience that with me anymore. And there was this separation between God and us. And I bring that up because you understand what Satan did at the very beginning is very similar to what he does today. What he promised to Eve was this immediate pleasure. Okay, you gotta get this. You gotta understand the kingdom of Satan. You gotta understand his plan. See, I'm guessing most of you did not wake up this morning thinking, I've got an enemy. But do you realize right now, as I'm doing everything I can, and I'm praying, and I'm just going, God, speak through me, help me get through to them. They got to understand that they were made for you. I got to get them to live for you. Somehow do that in them, God. And I'm begging him, and I'm coming up with every scripture I can think of. And I'm thinking, man, I got like 20, 25 minutes left with these guys. God, get them close to you. Use me somehow. As I am trying to draw you close to God and help you understand that you were made for him, right now, as I'm doing that, there is someone else that is doing everything he can to keep you from following God, to distract you, to get you to rebel against him, to offer you something that may look more appealing to God right now. Yet most of us don't think that way. We don't think, oh, I've got an enemy right now. I mean, imagine if you had a physical enemy. Like I don't know, someone that's scary. A vampire. Okay, we'll do the vampire thing. Okay. I don't even know how those guys work. I didn't watch the rest of the movie. Okay, so. Derwin. Someone said Derwin. That's good. Okay, Derwin. No, that's better. Derwin. Where is Derwin? Is Derwin in here? Derwin. Okay. Derwin's going to be speaking tomorrow. You guys seen Derwin? He's big. Played for the Colts, right? Colts, yeah. Big guy. You'll see him tomorrow. He's almost as big as me. Could you imagine if, let's just say, Derwin, you knew that he was going to try to kill you today. Okay, seriously. He wrote you a note and he texted you. He goes, I will kill you tomorrow. He sent that yesterday. And what if you woke up this morning and you just knew, he's going to try to kill him, he's going to try to kill him. What are you going to do? Run, hide, good. Yes, buy a gun, good. Yeah, okay, that's enough. Okay, I got that idea. So you'd be prepared, right? You'd think, okay, I'm going to look out for him. I'm going to watch out for him. And in the same way, see, the Bible says in 1 Peter 5:8, it says, be on the alert. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. He says, and it's just like if he was going to try to kill me, I would get people around me. I would think about, okay, where can I go? Where can I strategize to get away from him? How can I defeat him? Because he's coming after me. I see that with a physical enemy, but the Bible tells you, man, you've got a spiritual enemy. And he's every bit as real as you are. And right now he is trying to get you to live your own life just like he did with Eve. Just like he said to Eve, come on Eve, really? Did God really say, you know, that you're going to die if you eat of that fruit? See, God does that. Satan does that today. You've got friends right now that are telling you, oh, okay, really, God's going to send me to hell if I do this or I do that? Is he really going to do that? Because it's the same message. And it's the same thing back then when Satan said to Eve, he goes, look, God just knows that if you just live this, if you take of this fruit, then you can start seeing, you'll know the difference between good and evil. You can be just like God. You don't have to be under his authority. You don't have to be under his rules. Just take of it. So you've got someone doing that with you right now. And if you don't recognize, he's probably winning. He's trying to keep you from living today for Jesus, for what you were created for. He's going to tempt you with other things. Understand, here's the way the kingdom of Satan works. He's going to offer you immediate pleasure and not tell you about the eternal regret. Whereas God's kingdom is the opposite. He says, if you follow me, immediately there may be some suffering, but then you'll have an eternity of reward. See, just like with Adam and Eve, it was that one fruit that looked so good, and he goes, I'm just going to take it. And yes, immediately it was great, but then here comes all of this regret, and we're dealing with that today. And yet God says, my kingdom is different. Some of the things I'm going to ask you to do are very difficult, even painful. I may even ask you to suffer during that short time on earth. You know how sometimes when you get so tempted, and it kills you to walk away from the sin. But once you do it and once you suffer, the rest of the day you're going, I'm so glad I won, I did it, I was right, I felt at peace. And then those other times when you fall into the temptation and you actually sin and then you regret it the rest of the day, the rest of the week, sometimes the rest of your life. See, that's the way the kingdom of Satan works. It's that immediate pleasure that he offers you. But we got to have faith. See, at that moment, Eve made a very foolish mistake, and so did Adam. I mean, they had everything, didn't they? I mean, can you imagine you're in this perfect environment, walking with God, there's no sin, there's no evil, and then suddenly you blow it. And they gave all of that up because something looked more enticing to them at that moment. In 1 Peter 4, see, ever since the curse, you guys, that's why bad things happen. People go, well, why do bad things happen nowadays? This earth isn't the way God intended for it to be. This is not what he wanted. This is a result of the curse. And he is redeeming it, and one day it's going to be like he determined it to be when he talks about that new heaven and the new earth. It's going to be back to the way he was, and even a greater form of that. But right now, there's a lot of pain in the world, and that's why in 1 Peter 4, verse 12, it says, Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery trial when it comes upon you to test you as though something strange were happening to you. Did you catch that? He says, don't be surprised when your life gets difficult. He goes, don't be surprised when people start persecuting you for your faith. I mean, you've got an enemy. He goes, don't be surprised by that as though something strange were happening to you.